Let's get into it. Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. It looks like Joe Rogan was correct about something to do with Joe Biden. Now, as everybody knows, the debate went down, and it went down hard. Biden did exactly what you would expect. A lot of people thought maybe there will be some enhancements going on, and he'll be like, hey guys, what's going on? Joe Biden here, and this is not the guy to vote for. A lot of people thought that might happen. Did not happen. Didn't even look like he took a sip of coffee. I mean, this guy was just trailing off, all sorts of things like that, not really making sense. I was watching with my wife, and at one point my wife was like, I can't really understand what he's saying. And I think that was the consensus amongst not just Republicans, but Democrats as well. Democrat Party is in a panic right now because it was on full display. No debating it. No more saying these are cheap fakes. He's fine. He's the best ever. No more of that. It's very much in question his cognitive abilities. Now, Joe Rogan has said multiple times that he thinks that Joe is not going to be the person that they have run for this election. He kept saying, I think they're going to switch him out. And he might be correct. He has floated the name Gavin Newsom quite a bit. Michelle Obama a little bit at the beginning, but as time went on, he kept on bringing up Gavin Newsom. Now, the thing is, he might be right about this because Gavin Newsom has been talking quite a bit. And it seems like he's doing the exact same things that Joe Rogan said he was going to do to make himself seem loyal to Joe Biden. Now, this is not just a theory. There are people, CNN and MSNBC are both questioning whether or not Joe Biden should be the person to run for president for the Democratic Party. That is just mind-blowing for the Democrat Party. That is just mind-blowing. You never see them talk like that. All they've been saying is he's fine, he's great, he's way better than Trump. But now all of a sudden the tune has changed. Now I want you to listen to what Joe Rogan has to say just 4 months ago. Then I'm going to play another clip with him and Brett Weinstein talking about it again. Then I'm going to play Gavin Newsom actually at the debates doing some kind of, he was doing some kind of breakdown with MSNBC. And I'm like, why is Gavin Newsom there? What's he doing there? I think it might be going down, guys. And you know what? Not good news.
Which is as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. That's literally what it says in the report.
Yeah.
Well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. So basically, you can't prosecute this guy because he's not compos mentis, but you can let him run for the president of the United States in November. So that's the world that we've managed to get into.
But don't you think that that's a ruse?
What
that him running for president? I think
you don't think he's going to run?
No. I think they're going to get rid of him. I think they're going to move him out. They're going to force him to step down. That's what I think. If I had to guess, and it's just speculation, I'd say they're setting up Gavin Newsom for it. That's what I say. That's what I think. That's what it looks like to me. I think more and more comes out about this stuff, and more comes out about the Burisma thing and the Penn State thing, where the Chinese donated money to Penn State, and then he got $1 million a year gig where he didn't even have to show up. That's old school. That's like mafia stuff. Was it $1 million a year? How much was it that he got from Penn State? And he was telling people he's a professor at Penn State. Like he never even went there. Didn't teach one class. Look, some of it is part of it's fun. Like if he wasn't the president, it would be really fun because he's like always making stuff up. He calls people the wrong name. Talks about someone that's dead. It's just it's constant.
It was Penn, not.
So that was one of the many times he's even brought this up with Tim Dillon as recent as the last time Tim Dillon was on, which wasn't that long ago. Now here's him talking with Brett Weinstein, talking about Gavin Newsom as well, talking about how Gavin Newsom seems like he's trying to position himself by the way that he talks about Joe Biden and the current administration as somebody who is, as Joe says, gotten the call. Let's go.
I'm the vice president of a company, and I know that the president is stepping down. And then they have, would you want to take over the position? Like, let me tell you how great that guy is. He is the best ever. He's the best ever. I could not fill his shoes. I know I'm filling his shoes.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm throwing the guy a bone. I'm being nice because I'm not in competition with that guy. Whereas any other time, a politician would be at least angling for the position that they are the superior choice. They'd be saying, although I fully support the Biden administration, we disagree on, I think, my vision is that we move forward in this direction, and this is why I think that's going to be beneficial. And I would love to convince them that I'm correct, but I'm positioning myself as a superior choice to what's obviously the guy wants to be president. Look at him. He looks like a president. He wants to be president. But, bro, you gotta talk to some regular people. That's not how you could say it. You could say all the things you just said. I think he's a man of decency, and I think he's a man of character. You can say it like that.
Right.
A man of decency, a man of character. I'm old school.
And that's exactly what Gavin Newsom is doing here. Now, this was just after the debates. The debates have just gone down, and Gavin Newsom is pretty much doing exactly what Joe Rogan was just saying in that past clip. Listen to this.
Deliver the child of the person that impregnated him. This is a world that Donald Trump has created. And so for me, it was daylight and darkness. And I'm very proud of the president's record, and I'm very proud for his vision of the future.
I mean, let's talk about the substance, though, because I feel like on the signature issue that Democrats have, which is abortion, the president's response was garbled and undirected at best. Yeah. Do you feel like he did what he needed to do on an issue that could motivate voters in the polls?
I think it's significantly insignificant because it's de minimis because the American people have made up their mind. They don't support the policies of Donald Trump. They certainly don't support his policies or his assertion somehow the American people always wanted this to be states' rights, which was laughable and absurd. So from that perspective, I don't think that will matter. You saw it in all the elections since Dobbs where Democrats are overperforming. We keep winning, and we have to keep our mind. So I think for all of us, worry less and do more. We have the opportunity to turn the page. We have the opportunity to put our heads down. We have the opportunity to universally have the back of this president who's had our back. You don't turn your back. You go home with the one that brought you to the dance. 100% all in. And I was very, very proud that he was able to articulate the work that he has done and lay a foundation of understanding of the lies and the deceit that continue to come out of Donald Trump's mouth.
You were out there getting a chorus of questions about whether Biden should step down. There is panic that has set in. There is panic that has set in among people who have watched this debate, who are Democrats, people who are strategists, and some even inside Democratic campaigns. Yeah. Do you think it's unfounded?
Well, I think it's unhelpful, and I think it's unnecessary. We've got to go in and got to keep our heads high. And as I say, we've got to have the back of this president. You don't turn your back because of one performance. What kind of party does that? It's been a masterclass. 15.6 million jobs. That's 8 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined. The only thing the last 3 Republican presidents have in common is recessions. Democrats deliver. This president has delivered. We need to deliver for him at this moment. With all due respect, the more time we start having these conversations, go down these rabbit holes, it's unhelpful to our democracy, our fate and future of this country, the world. They need us right now to step up, and that's exactly what I intend to do.
Not to belabor the point, but, I mean, this was a Biden campaign strategy. This was their idea to do this debate now, and I wonder what you think they got out of it. What was Biden's strongest moment from this debate in your mind?
Well, again, back to the substance. He got stronger. He had more stamina over the debate.
But was there one moment that you think sticks?
Well, it's difficult to assess. I need a little bit more objectivity and time away from this in the context of trying to pick those moments. But look, at the bottom line is this was an opportunity to sort of distill the essence of what this campaign's about. You're hearing the messaging from the campaign distilled down what that key message is. Turn the page. Go to North Carolina tomorrow. We'll get out there on the road. Surrogates need to step up. We need to step in to support this grassroots effort all across the United States. We need to raise money, and we need to understand what's at stake if we don't. We need to understand what's at stake if we turn our back at this critical time.
He's pretty much doing it's like he's doing an impression of Joe Rogan doing an impression of him. He's acting exactly what Joe said, like a guy who's already got the call. First off, think about this. Trump has many supporters who are governors and whatnot. DeSantis isn't there. Where's DeSantis? DeSantis is taking care of Florida. The governor of New York, she's not there supporting Biden. She's over teaching, kids who are black about what computers are and how to spell that word. All the governors are busy. For some reason, the governor who has the most work to do is for some reason at these debates with MSNBC, having in-depth interviews, speaking the way that he's speaking. I think Joe Rogan might be right. I think he hit this nail on the head. I think Gavin Newsom might be the one stepping in, because who else could it really be? It couldn't be Kamala. It couldn't be Hillary. That couldn't happen again. And Michelle Obama has made it very clear that she wants nothing to do with anything. She has not been in the spotlight whatsoever. And if it was going to be her, at least she would be making appearances. That's not happening. She's not making any appearances. She's been pretty much out of the limelight altogether. The last time we saw Obama was with Biden leading him off stage, and that was it. So the only person who's been making appearance after appearance, seeming very loyal, is Gavin Newsom. Now, even think about this. You're seeing Vivek. Vivek is there. Vivek has been making comments, doing interviews, been being very loyal to Trump. Think about the way Vivek is and how he talks about Trump. Think about how Gavin is and how he talks about Biden. It's very much parallel. They talk very much the same about the people that they respect, the ones that are above them. But it's very, very almost a lock from what we've been hearing that Vivek's going to be Trump's VP. What purpose does Gavin have to be this loyal and this vocal about how loyal he is to Biden? Might be the one taking over. I think Joe was right. I think Joe hit the nail on the head, quite honestly. That's just me. Just wanted to show you guys that really quickly. And let me know what you guys thought of the debate. I thought the debate was absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to be honest. The only thing I really liked was, I'm talking to some Rogan fans. You remember when Joe Rogan was talking about Francis Ngannou? And he was talking about Francis Ngannou being patient. He used to be all wild, and then he got patient. He was like, a patient Francis Ngannou is very scary, very dangerous, right? Because he could calculate with all that power. Trump did very much that in the debate. He became somebody who was a little more calm. He has the ability to be very funny, to be very insulting. Could have insulted Jake Tapper, could have insulted mainstream media, didn't say anything about fake news, didn't say anything. He touched on Biden just a little bit, but not as hard as he could have. He could have just made sure every single thing he said was a hilarious soundbite for Biden. Made sure not to do that, stayed on topic, made sure to combat Biden with the points that he was making constantly. And that was it. I think that's a side of Trump that a lot of people have been starving to see. So many people, oh, but the Twitter, oh, but the insults, oh, but the name calling. So a lot of people don't like that. And if he just took that away, not completely, but just showed people that side of himself, I think he gets a lot more votes. I think he did really well in this debate. I'm very glad that it happened. And I think Biden put on full display that he is not up to the task of holding up a conversation. Let's not even talk about running the country. Can't hold a conversation. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Absolutely wild. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Helps the channel tremendously. Other than that, I'm out.